boys and girls. Today's experiment for day 4 is bees as pollinators. So pollinator is an animal that moves pollen from one part of a flower to another. Pollination is the process when this animal or insect actually fertilizes a plant to produce a fruit or seeds or even a flower. So pollen is that powdery material like yellow, orange on a flower that needs to be moved from one part of the plant to the other so that a flower or seed and fruit can grow. Pollinators are bats and bees and butterflies and dragonflies. So on the anther part of the flower, which is the tall part, that's where the pollen is. And when the insect lands on that part of the flower, especially bees, they have hairy parts of their body and the pollen sticks to that hairy part and then it can be transferred to the middle part of the flower, which is called the stigma, and that's when a plant is fertilized to grow fruit. Bees are a large part of our food supply. They help us with vegetables and have vegetables, nuts, cotton, coffees and teas, and chocolate. The cocoa bean comes from pollination, from pollinators. So they're an important part of our habitat, the bees. So in today's experiment, you're gonna have, here's my little picture of the bee as a pollinator. All this, I hope you can see it. It's a cool picture of the flower, and he's got all the pollen stuck on his body. So today's experiment is going to be, here's your flowers, and your little fingers are going to be bees. So I found these little cheese puffs, and if you open your bag and you kind of put the cheese puffs, rub them on your fingers, okay, this is what is going to be an example of our pollen. So now your fingers have all of this cheese puff on it, right? So you're going to be little bees and you're going to land on your flowers and you're going to be transferring pollen. Grab a little more, rub them on your fingers, dance around your flower, and transfer your pollen. Okay? So that you can create fruits and flowers. Take your magnifying glass. You can look closely at the pollen on the flower. It's kind of a cool idea, kind of a cool process by which insects are pollinators. Also interesting too is wind can be a pollinator. It doesn't always need to be an insect to have pollination. So when wind blows the pollen from one part of the plant to the other, that also is a process of pollination. So wind can be a pollinator too. So that's our experiment for the day. I know your hands are kind of messy. You're going to have to go wash them. But on Google Classroom also, there's some really interesting videos of from SciShow Kids about the importance of bees in our environment. So check them out, okay? I hope you had fun with this little experiment. Have a good day. Talk to you tomorrow.